Alright. Gonna start with rolling some dice here. Ooh, my VTT is slow. It still hasn't. It just kind of rolled the dice finally. Got a 6. That is that's Tim. That's Gus. Which, by the way, without books here, would you be willing to be the group caller if we need one tonight?
If we need one, sure.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
What happened last time?
On the last time, we were spent a good bit of time negotiating with I think her name is Bleeze, the bounty target that we basically realized we were not going to get her out of that power armor. And so after some negotiating where we said we're not giving up control of our ship, she booked passage to, I think, the Shazar system 4 parsecs away. And so we basically said, we needed to get back to Larstown and would reconnect with her when, it was safe to get to the ship. And en route, we encountered a mass of people that looked like Dawn Guard and the Valley Rangers, who...
Wait, together?
Yeah.
Together. And that was...
that it was weird.
Yeah, and, they were not hostile to each other. They were just kind of all going en masse to Larstown. I don't remember the exact approach we did, but we got too close to them and realized that they were essentially zombies. And they fired on us, and Chapman got hit and wounded in the process. And then, and in the meantime, we also alerted Larstown to this presence of, zombies of the Dawn Guard and the Valley Rangers that was headed their way with guns and were capable of using them. And then we sort of diverted around and taking a longer path to there. And I think that's pretty much where we are picking up now.
Yeah, awesome recap. I'll add 2 anecdotes. Is the agreement to go to Shazar, that's the right planet too, the payoff, which is the actual power armor itself. Plus, she's promised you solid trade contacts between every system between here and Shazar, and the navigation data to get there. So, yeah.
Nice.
It's hard for me to get excited about that with the bullet in me right now.
Don't worry, we'll get you out of this.
You can walk it off, don't worry.
We can go back to that other place and put you in one of the low berths that, tattoo your face.
I mean, we have a low berth on our ship.
I want to leave. Like, I don't need payment for anything. Like, I don't need power armor. I don't need info. I need to get out of here.
We're working on that.
Man, this is really dark. Can anybody see anything?
See a little red spot right here.
Yeah, this little explosion-y sort of thing.
Let me see if I can...
Like a cloud.
It's weird. It won't... Alright, I guess the image is gone. That's probably what you see as you... Chapman is hurt, and people are trying to staunch the bleeding and get Chapman back awake while you ride your beetle camels in the darkness as gunfire and tracer fire arcs overhead. And within a matter of... By the time Chapman wakes up, all of these people have made contact with the outer walls and the cordon at Larstown. And you can hear that clearly. And you've circled around to the entrance of Larstown, where you can see the the guarded but less guarded southern gate, where where there is not combat. Is it gonna let Okay.
The
Come
Fall
on,
of Karth,
VTT.
I didn't like that.
Oh, I need to like stop revealing the title names. I have a feature for that. Yes, so you make it to the entrance that you've entered several times doing work and jobs here. The night sky is flashing, illuminating the ground, shakes as people that have formed where the walls have been shattered on the north end from previous battle. They've created barriers and cordons there, and the fighting is heaviest on the north end of that wall. You do, however, see guards. It also looks as if some citizens of Karth have been handed weapons, and even the blue-skinned drug addicts among them are shaking nervously at night. What do you do?
Oh, that's great.
Can we see the status of the space elevator?
You do see the space elevator. There are chunks missing out of it. It's damaged. However, there is scaffolding on it, and the slim security forces that you see here on the southern wall of Larstown, as thin as security is, there are people working desperately right now on that space elevator.
Gotcha. Am I conscious now? It's been at least 10
Yeah,
minutes.
you're
for us to
conscious,
get all
yes.
the way. Okay.
Welcome to the land of the living, Nat.
You're kind of overstating what kind of land this is.
Well, you know. Welcome to the suck.
They're not, the horde is not on the southern wall by us. It's on other spots, right?
So far, it's on the northern wall.
Okay, northern wall, okay.
I have a question for you, Ross.
Yeah.
Any of the weaponry that it would be on the Lucky Yo, would it be the sort of stuff that can be used air to surface?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be.
Not the laser.
Yeah, no, the pulse laser, no.
No.
Wouldn't make it through the
We
atmosphere.
still have the option. We could break into the admin building and try and use the space gun, the orbital defense cannon.
That
True.
could be huge. We could also, we'd have to be careful. I do think we do need to move further in, though, right? We need to get closer to the elevator, so we gotta land or defend there. I don't know how long the outer walls hold, how thin it is.
Yeah.
I think our most basic action right now would just be enter the town, get the lay of the land from the security forces, and gauge the usability of the elevator and how much more time it needs to be functional.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
That's
if we can't leave right now, then we may as well join the forces at the wall and start shooting zombies unless someone has a better idea.
Yeah, you're right.
Does anybody have any high technical skills that might be used to improve the speed of repairing the elevator?
Isn't our Admiral General Doctor pretty good at that sort of thing?
I'm good at engineering.
Yeah, I just
I
have
got
the basic
engineering
skills.
5. Yeah.
All right, then let's head in, I think.
Yeah, I mean, but so yeah, let's get into town inside the walls, and then I don't know if there's a central, if there's sort of like I mean, I'm guessing the administration building is still the command center for the defense of the town, so that even though that's further north to the attack, I suspect that's where we should go to at least check in and figure out our best.
Yeah.
How we can best support getting off this planet as quickly as possible.
Well, just for starters, from where you are, you're at this Larstown sign. A chunk of it has been blown off its left side. It's charred, and there is a security cordon at the main gate that is watching for anything approaching from the south. They've also manned the wall.
It says Arstown.
First down.
We are not zombies. Please
This
don't.
is this is Special Deputy Radamant Jones. I get on the radio.
No.
We're coming in with a party. Please do not shoot us.
Special Deputy Radamant, who's on bail right now.
We'll
We don't talk about that. I'm on a work release program as a cop.
we'll light my lantern too, so that they can see us.
Yeah.
Okay, two things happen. One becomes apparent. Two things. First, you try to use your radio to contact them. Hey, we're coming in toward the south gate. This is Deputy so-and-so. And you receive an overwhelming squelch on the radio. Even from where you are, you can see that whatever intelligence is directing this has taken out the communication towers in Larstown. And even basic radio communications seem to be shut down here. It's clear that this is not just mindless zombies. The second thing is that you light the lantern and you do hear people yelling, "Oh, they're coming from the south side. They're coming from the south side. Get ready."
Friendlies.
Start yelling. Who is it? Say the challenge word.
I'm Special Deputy Radamant Jones of the Karth Sheriff's Department.
But loyal to old Lars.
One
I
of
say,
them,
taking my hat and putting it on my heart.
Yes.
One of them says, "Oh, it's that dumbass. Go ahead and let him in."
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
You see
Dumbass,
that?
it worked out for me.
You see that sergeant
Memorable.
that you worked with, and he's like, "If you got guns, you might want to get to the north wall. The marshal's got a plan to try to get us out of this." And
Yes, sir.
here are some other things that you can see as you enter the walls, and then they close them behind you. First of all, you can see that a huge portion of the western wall has also been recently collapsed, and this just happened. It looks like the above-ground storage tanks of hydrogen. One of them has ruptured and created broiling above-ground fires and denied access to the whole area, and it's just a roiling flame that can't be put out. It's endangering the rest of the fuel supplies here, which could take out half the town if that's not taken care of, as hydrogen that is cracked open above ground is highly unstable. And they are nonetheless, they have manned guards on the walls on the west side. Secondly, there is, as I mentioned before, the communication towers. It's clear that anything that has a transmitter has been deliberately taken out first, which is, it's obvious that this is directed by some kind of intelligence, even if the husks are not acting intelligent independently. Third, in the middle of the town square, behind Lars himself, beneath his gaze, the people of Larstown are rushing to pull medical equipment out of the clinic, primarily these things. Let me see if I can find them. And if I can... Come on.
Praise
These...
be Lars. He knew this was going to happen.
These things from the medical clinic. They have got maybe a dozen of them out so far, and they are gathering them and loading them onto carts and trying to bring them to the space elevator. And then fourth, it is obvious from here that the main defense of the city exists in two gaps in the walls that are being pressed from fighting positions outside. The husks have taken up fighting positions in some of the craters in cover and are using small arms fire to harry the people in the walls. But the bulk of MEF forces are here on the northern wall, holding these two gaps, as well as on the wall. And then last of all, the command post is quite obvious. Marshal Clark himself is outside directing the effort to deliver those pods inside the space elevator and directing work and supplies onto the elevator. It looks like he aims to try to get out of here too.
He's gonna ship. So.
I say we offer up
space
to get as many
must
people.
I
Or
wonder
can-
if I wonder if the space elevator acts as a giant antenna as well.
The MEF had ships and stuff in orbit, right?
No.
No. Anybody in do? I have a long-range communicator backpack that Niall's been hauling around this whole time. Would that reach like the top of this place elevator?
I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going to make a ruling when it says long range communicator. I assume it must truly be long range and high.
It could reach ships in orbit.
There we go. So you reach the lucky yo, and a lazy voice puts down something that they're eating, and you get the voice of Trask, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Is there any information we need to convey other than to get the ship ready to go and possibly ready to receive people? Is there anything that we need to convey?
Zombies are attacking Larstown. We need to get out of here.
Ask
gonna
me if
say-
you can use the communicator on the Lucky Yo to contact reinforcements.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not in this universe. It's bound by
Well-
Planck's constant. It can't go any
I was gonna
faster.
say, not to another system, but within this system.
Within-
can
within
relay a
the
message
system.
to any
Yeah.
other planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're at the Tabernus gas giant. It would probably take the better part of a year for a radioactive signal or a radio wave to reach all the way back out to the other end of the solar system.
Okay, all right. Fair
Gotcha.
enough.
Okay. Then
We
just
survive for a year.
tell them to
What
get
is
the engines burning and get ready to possibly receive refugees.
Don't let Marshall Clark on until we get there.
Don't let
Yeah.
anyone on until we get
Well,
there.
let's
What the hell's
we
going
wanna
on
try
down
to
there? What did you all do?
Don't worry about it.
I have a quick question. Do we still have Bleeze with us?
I don't think she has come yet, huh?
Yeah, Bleeze agreed to join you, and you were contacting her on the radio. You heard yelling, and then static, and then nothing.
No,
Gotcha.
she's dead.
maybe.
Wow. We don't want other people commandeering our ship, even if they think they might be able to command the authority to do so.
Right.
I will radio up, tell them, give a description of that one guy, be like, this guy does not enter until we do.
Okay. No, you have three other crew members. You have the two MEF soldiers and the smuggler, right? So
Yeah.
and then Trask,
Yeah.
and so Trask is like, Roger that. Get up here. Get on the space elevator and get out of there. What are you all doing? Come on. I'll get the ship warmed up.
I say we head right on over to the Marshal.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Do
that's
we
gonna be
want to
good.
try to get Dr. Fayed to get on
Yes.
our ship?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yes. I like Dr.
Yeah,
Fayed.
let's be
See if
keep
we
it
can
safe.
You would. I mean,
As you're passing this work, you can see that Dr. Fayed is in fact coordinating the work to remove the medical technology and the pods from the medical clinic.
Dr. Fayed.
Okay, yeah. He, as you walk by, he sees you and he says, "Ah, I wish that we could meet under better circumstances."
Would you like a ride off this rock?
Of course not.
You need to
From
leave.
us.
Here. A doctor must go down with his town. Okay.
There.
Yes,
don't think
we
it's
all
a
know
thing.
that old custom.
Dr. Solomon is correct. I have sworn an oath to Mani and her representatives. I will do everything I can to aid and protect the people of Larstown.
Good luck.
I wanna convince him. No, hold up. I want another shot at this. Dr. Fayed, a man of your programming would have it'd be wasted if you just died with this town. There will be representatives of Mani on our ship with us as we're exiting. I guarantee it. And they need a capable doctor such as yourself.
Yes.
Yep, that's about what I was going to say.
If that is so, then I would say we must complete the Marshal's plan. These pods must arrive to the space elevator. Either way, with the space elevator inoperative, no one will be able to make it to orbit.
All right, we'll circle back to this afterwards. I guess let's go talk.
He concedes, but he's like, either way, we need to do this thing. All right, you can see people. You pass the bar. You can hear the bar. The jukebox at the bar is still blaring, and people are just drinking. And Marshal Clark has set up a kind of outdoor command post. They've set up static defenses and heavy weapons emplacements. This is sort of a second echelon. This is like a last fighting position at the entrance to the space elevator. And it serves also as this command post. You can see on the transmitters on the space elevator have been destroyed. And so that was that must have happened just as these things were arriving. And he is going over data, digital maps, orbital overlays, switching between overlays. Lieutenants are looking at intelligence that's coming in, and he's got reports. And and they're trying to as closely as possible get. It's obvious to you as you come up. They're trying to get the space elevator working, defend Larstown, and get the cryopods to the space elevator. That's all, And he says as much. And he as you approach, he says, "Well, it's the travelers. What a hell of a night!"
Right?
Out of character first. If our ship could get below the orbital defense system, if that were deactivated or something, could our sandcasters be of use on ground targets, or maybe to put out that fire?
If you brought this thing into orbit, you would be a weapon of nightmare. Like if you could actually close, and it can fly in atmospheres and water, a armed pulse laser and sandcaster on a starship, we're talking like thousands of damage comparably. It's a nightmare.
Nice.
So yes, resuming. Howdy doody, Marshal.
Lost Solomon. I guessing you didn't find that bounty, huh?
I turn out my pockets in a cartoonish exaggeration.
Well, that's a damn shame, because we sure as hell could use that powered armor right now.
Yeah, true.
Now look, everybody, we don't have any time left. We've got to get this space elevator working. They're trying to breach the walls, and we need to get these pods up here. I'm putting 2 to a pod. I'm going to use the pods to put everybody in low berth sleep. Some of them aren't going to make it probably, but ain't nobody going to make it. The thing is, unless we can get this space elevator and get them up there, if we send everybody up, we'll run out of life support. Even that ship of yours in orbit won't be able to have everybody on board. So we're going to put everybody in deep freeze, send a message to Monty, and wait till they get here. That's the plan.
Well, Marshal, if we can get to our ship, and if the orbital defense system can be temporarily deactivated, we might not need to put anybody in orbit at all.
That's a hell of an idea, but nobody's made it past that orbital defense platform since we got here.
Well, we did see a ship crash on our way back.
Yeah, I know those bastards. They were under contract with Monty. For some reason, they decided to make a run for orbit. Stupid. And, well, you can see what it did.
It didn't look like the orbital laser took him out, though. It was,
Yeah.
Really?
Not that we saw them. We saw them crash, and it did not look like they were struck by a
Nuclear
orbital
might.
defense cannon.
Well, that's just one more thing to worry about. Bottom line, we got to get this space elevator up and working. And ain't enough ships in orbit to try to evacuate everybody, even if we had 3 or 4. So we're gonna try to put everybody.
What do we need to do to get the elevator working?
Well, crews are working as fast as they can, but nobody has any experience with this ancient technology. So we're patching it with what we can. A lot of times mechanical parts, we try to make up stuff on the spot. We've got welders and people that, what do you call it, metallurgists. We're coming up with stuff and we're slapping it up there and trying to spot weld it on and then pump the ramp up above areas where it's damaged. It's taken a long time.
Glenn, we lost you for a bit. Can you say something? Can we hear you? You hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly now. It's just
Gotcha.
me. All right. Could Solomon take a look and see what kind of repairs need to be done?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's your problem.
Roll for engineering.
All right. That was 2d6, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. For a total of 9.
9. They're doing this all wrong. They're trying to kind of like patch stuff on and then force the ramp up above damaged areas, and eventually you can tell it's going to take them 48 hours at least, and they're going to have to reconstruct the ramp because it's going to get damaged. You think that if you can get access to the controls, you can probably figure out a way to apply auxiliary power to this if it's rerouted from somewhere else. And then they need to do the opposite. They need to rip all of this stuff off. You suspect that there must have been some emergency system. There are no lift systems even in the Federation that don't have a standby system, especially something for heavy cargo and heavy lifting.
All right. Well, Solomon will step forward and say, Marshal, if you just give me controls of the elevator and let me take control of the crews, I can get this up and running in no time.
Is that right? And certainly wouldn't want to just, take control of the lift and head right on out of here, would you?
Of course not.
Right.
We would make sure you would come with us.
I promised you that everybody in Larstown will be getting out of here once it's prepared.
Well, I don't think you'll mind then if a couple of my guards go with you. And then he looks to the guards and is like, if he does anything funny, shoot him. We can't take any risks. And that elevator is not moving up until every one of those cryopods is full and stacked up here ready to go. And then at that point, someone runs forward and they're like, Marshal, ammunition is at 50%. And he's like, seize, damn it. We used all ammunition during that last fight. No resupply for money. And at that point, you hear a pop and squealing sound and smell something really strange. And you vaguely remember a smell like this before. And there are all sorts of tiny black dots that appear on the east wall. Okay, what do you all do?
Cry.
Gas.
Helmet on, seal suit.
Yep,
Yeah.
same.
You guys have your vac suit?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll do the same. You guys
Uh,
know
yeah.
what this is.
Spots.
I think Solomon, you got to go head out and do some engineering. The rest of us have to fire our guns judiciously.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well-
Solomon, you head to the control panel. Everybody else, you can see the MEF forces on the walls. Some of them wounded. They've set up, casualty collection points and sectors of fire and everything. But it's dynamic as one area is brought down or a heavy weapons emplacement is taken out. They're lifting up another one and trying to secure the walls. It's clear to you that there are these fighting positions that they've established outside the walls. And then you look out on the eastern gap in the wall, and there is just like teeming hundreds, thousands of these things. Your concerns about gas are unwarranted, probably. But you have seen these things before, and there are a lot of them. The MEF are able to hold them back and keep them from getting to you, but their ammo is running dry.
All right.
There's some sort of planetary sentience that is controlling everything.
There was that voice that spoke before, right?
Yeah, there's some powerful being that was being exploited deeper within the planet by the whatchamacallsums, Dawn Seekers.
Yeah. Telepathic thing.
I wish we had our Akira with us right now. We didn't shoot him in the head. We could have like got him out there blowing stuff up with his brain. It wasn't worth the money.
Only.
Are there any more tanks on this area that haven't been ruptured or anything like that?
Yes, there are above ground storage hydrogen tanks that are not yet ruptured.
What do you guys think?
Are you thinking
Yeah.
to lure them towards them and then blow them up?
Yeah, I don't know that we'd be able to move them, right? Well, we have the camel beetles. Yeah, if we could either, well, we'd have to let them in the wall, which I think that's be a last ditch thing, or if we could try to move them to the wall or out of the side of the wall, maybe be a little more offensive.
I was gonna say, and roll them down that incline.
So you're going to try to lure them over toward the opposite wall to the tanks and blow up one of the tanks?
No, I meant like, are there any more tanks on this side?
No. All of the fuel tanks are on the opposite side. But
Gotcha.
You think it might be possible. They are ravenous. They just, the last time you encountered these things, they rushed towards you to just try to eat your face. So.
Does anyone have a good method of making lots of fire very quickly? Do we want to go to the karaoke bar and commandeer all their alcohol?
Yeah.
I mean,
like a still or something that we could,
Yep.
Guns are not the solution to this problem,
Yeah.
like
barrels of booze that we could, ignite.
You're confident.
Right.
So there's a couple. Let me frame a couple options and clarify and make sure, try to communicate it. First is that you're confident that you could probably lead them around to the opposite side. These are things that just want to eat. So they're not going to just ignore you, a tasty snack, and run towards withering gunfire. If you want to lead Mary Chase all the way around and get them to something that explodes. Second thing is there a ton of alcohol in a bar? Yes. How do you cart that out and use it? You tell me.
in that case, maybe we will try to lead them around the perimeter to wherever there's the highest density of explosives.
Does everyone do it, or go ahead?
How confident is Niall that the beetle camels are fast enough to stay ahead of these things?
The beetle camels are faster than these, but just so.
Okay. It's risky,
I mean,
but
they're just
it might work.
like the poot humans, so you know.
Okay, Gus, what do you think?
I'm okay with that.
Right.
It's just that, you know.
All right, you kick the. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a question. Who in the party is the best at shooting guns in some way?
Niall has
Wow.
rifle 4.
All right.
I'm rifle 2. So, you know.
I think you two then should instead go join the guys up at the other gap in shooting some zombies. Because this doesn't require any firearms talent at all, what we're going to do over here with the explosives.
So
Unless they get too close and try to get on your back.
Well, I mean, I've got pistol 1. I could. shoot some
Yeah,
zombies
we have strength in numbers, so we'll be able to handle that.
So it's Radamant and Chapman.
Yeah.
Okay.
With both beetle camels? Or just one?
Yes. Well, yeah, we'll do both of them, and then you guys go and start shooting some zombies. Help those guys out, because they're probably wasting ammo.
If you guys survive and have great success, maybe they can use the beetle camels over with the cryopods.
Like where you're thinking.
Yeah.
All right.
Speed up the
Also, we can't bring them on the ship. We don't have like the life support problem and all that stuff. So, if you gotta use them as bait.
True.
I'm not the one you need to convince. I think it's going to be Radamant who has the hardest time.
I mean, it's our lives versus theirs, so you know. I mean, that's
a thug's life.
He's put down a few horses in his life.
A camel beetle's life. Sometimes you gotta shoot your mount. You know.
Wow, those poor camel beetles.
Okay, so Airlock and what's the other poor bastard's name? Louis. Airlock is
My
just
baby.
like igniting clouds behind himself as he runs for his life against these things. It has the effect of luring these things even more so. So you run ahead of them. You make it to the hydrogen tanks. They are very unstable. Now, you've made it here, and they have followed you. What do you do when you get here?
I don't know how enticed they would be by rations, or whatever it is that we eat as rations, but I'll try to drop a whole bunch of those by the hydrogen tanks, and then get towards a position of safety, and line ourselves up to take a shot at those hydrogen tanks.
You're gonna blow up the tanks? Okay. You do that. You blow up the tanks. There is a... Let me get it here.
Oh, we're gonna die. Chapman, it's our end.
Absolutely outrageous fuel-air explosion as these volatile elements mix and ignite. And it just like mushroom clouds up into the night air. Everything is lit bright white for a second, and you're nearly blinded. The ground slams up and meets your face as the force of this thing sends you to the ground and tumbling backwards. And all of the buildings on the west side of town are destroyed, and the west wall is destroyed, and every single one of those bugs is destroyed. Meanwhile, smart move on splitting the party, because as you all are doing that, Niall and Gus join the defenses on the east wall, and something happens. From the sands. While some of these things have kind of dug into fighting positions, many do not have weapons. But you see hundreds of these figures in the night. And a new ammo problem presents itself as they just march mindlessly toward the walls. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't have that many rounds. Any ideas?
I mean, I think I have 2 clips I have 3 rifle magazines, so I don't remember how many shots are in a rifle, but that's my ammo limit as well.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, we need some other out-of-the-box thing. I mean,
Are there any of these that are? I mean, like, well, we still have a wall here, so it's not like we could just go over the wall and scavenge for their weapons off their.
They do have weapons. If you could take over their fighting positions, they have quite a bit of weapons.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see them in the fighting positions now. Okay. Yeah, like around here and here and here.
They are dug in, and all the benefits of cover. How can you dislodge them and get to their weapons?
Does the marshal have any like mortars or indirect fire that I don't have? I don't have forward observer, so.
He does.
Yeah, I don't have forward observer either.
It's not. Well, Solomon, you're somewhere else, but it's not it's not impossible to do, but it is much harder if you don't have it, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Are there any sort of like markings or flares or anything like that available in the fighting positions?
Absolutely. There's illumination rounds and flares and illum mortar rounds and everything.
I don't know. Well, let's see. Well, we can get one of those in the air at least, so that the people can see what they're shooting at. But if there's not one already, about the things that hit though, yeah, I don't know that firing one at those would do anything, right?
The illum round?
Roughly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roughly, how many of these creatures are in the various positions? I mean.
Only about a dozen each, but they've been the most troublesome because they've been hardest to dislodge. And in fact, you can see they apparently have weapons caches because they have ammo, and that is what's been causing the most trouble up until now.
Dang.
But now with those hundreds of people behind it, just like about to rush the wall, that's a new problem.
Right.
Well, if we can't call in an accurate strike, perhaps we can be given an effective inaccurate one. If we make them do a walking barrage, if we can get them to start in the right spot, then we can get them to walk it out and deal with not only a flying position or two, but also the bigger horde at the back.
That is accounted for in the forward observer skill, which says it says that if you don't have expertise, it starts at 11 plus, and then per turn of adjustment, it takes 2 minutes. You can adjust it by +1, becoming 10, 9, 8, so on and so forth. Except that with no expertise, you start with -4. So altogether, it starts as impossible, and it takes you a couple of turns to bracket it. So this takes a long time.
What do you think? Do you think this is our best bet?
Now,
I don't know if we can effectively hit them.
You guys cook on that and think about it and see if you come up with something else. I'm gonna pan it over to Solomon here. Solomon, you get to the control panel for this thing, and it is incomprehensibly alien, except to you, who has dealt with these things. In fact, you've seen technology like this. You've seen this on hegemony ships, which are manned by the antediluvian insectoid races, which seem to strangely man ships that have human qualities to them. But you know, the hegemony is the kind of superpower distant ruling authority of the southern portion of this sector, right? Well, anyways,
Yeah.
you are confident that you can, if they undo all the work they've done, you can get this thing moving. You've got a couple of options, though. So, You can get it moving, and it will move normally and fast. But it will not be able to carry cargo loads. So only like maybe a dozen people at a time. Or you can get it moving slowly, and it will carry cargo loads.
Well, if it can move cargo loads, then it can move more people. So I think I'll try to set it up to move slowly.
Okay. To each of you, those that just experienced that explosion on the west side, and those that are trying to assess the tactical situation on the northeast side, the lights come on like on the space elevator, and you can actually see and it's got beacon lights as if to warn atmospheric gyrocopters and stuff that might be flying nearby, and the space elevator has come online. And now, meanwhile, you guys probably have to go all the way back around and come back through, okay? So it's going to be a couple of rounds before Chapman and Radamant can make it back on their beetle camels. Right. So I'm going to pan back to Niall and Gus. Niall and Gus, you only have moments to decide. Do you have any solutions to the problem? And this can only be Niall and Gus. Everybody else is somewhere else right now.
I mean,
commit to it, or
I mean, I think it. I mean, it's indirect area of effect fire. So even if we miss, we might,
slow them down or something.
Might not miss that badly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we need to call down whatever kind of indirect fire these guys can put on this area, and hope they don't come too short and blow us up in the process.
Okay. If the long-range radio can't reach the marshal, then we might have to run back and communicate that.
You could send a runner. There's a bunch of MEF troopers here. Okay.
We'll do that. So
you do that. You have a runner that goes back and forth and sends written orders to to mortar crews, and one of you. So we'll pick on the crew captain. Pin the responsibility on him tonight. So Gus, our house rule is if you roll a 12, it works. So we'll do that. Otherwise, some time is going to pass. I think you're not going to be able to do this by my math. Let's see, at -4, and that's a 3,
okay.
2, 1. Yeah, it's going to take 3 turns. So you can roll 2d6 3 times. If you get a 12, it'll work though.
Okay. No whammies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little higher.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. Yeah, so a few things that happen. One, they all fly far afield, these explosions. One of them lands right next to the wall. And the wall shakes, takes some damage. They duck, and the people on the wall peek up like this. And meanwhile, these forces all get pretty much to the wall. And those forces that have been kept in reserve move up to the wall, and there's just a hail of gunfire to hold back these hundreds of bodies, okay?
I got
Several things happen when this happens. First of all, you have to pass by the command center in order to get back to the fighting positions either way. So, Radamant and Chapman, you are passing by the command center, and all of a sudden there's this huge intensity increase in gunfire and violence and indirect fire and stuff. And you know that this outside force is basically getting close to the wall. That's what's happening. And Dr. Faid approaches the command post, hands a report to the marshal, and says, "This is my analysis of the situation. Most of the cryopods are nearly loaded at the base of the space elevator." And the marshal looks at the report and says, "Dr. Faid, it was nice knowing you."
Oh no!
And he turns toward everybody else and he's like, "Open one of the crates and make it happen. And give them the guns." And you see a group of MEF Marines take some of the contents of one of the crates and head toward the bar. And let's see here.
They're gonna get all the drug dealers now.
And then, Solomon, you come out. So, Solomon, Chapman, Radamant, you guys are at the command post with the marshal. What do you do? Or do you want to do anything, or do you want to join the fighting at the wall, or, what do you want to do next?
A perhaps stupid question. And maybe this is something I've just failed to understand up until now, but surely that orbital defense platform has to be controllable from a ground position somewhere. And apparently all of these knuckleheads have not actually been able to understand the alien technological interfaces that are used for any of this stuff, except for you, Solomon. So, when you actually got in front of that keyboard, did you see the means to maybe reroute the power from that defense platform to the elevator?
Ooh, that's a good question. Did I see any of that when I was at the
Didn't you guys try to like sneak in and get that information once, and I told you about it or something? I think maybe I didn't make it clear. Did that not happen? Didn't Solomon? Wasn't that like one of the first things Solomon did? Was like, "Hey, I want to go and try to find out this out," and then rolled an admin check.
But we did, but we didn't commit to the plan. We just talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know where this information is. Well, it's a smoking hole now. I forgot to mention that, but the mayor's house is just a giant crater. However, all of the stuff, to operate the city has been moved to the command post, including all of the information and, tech and stuff. Basically, if you can gain access to their information, you can probably find out what they know about the orbital laser. I thought you already did this, but if you didn't, you need to find a way to find out. That's what you need. And
Well, I guess that's what Solomon will do, is just go up to a computer and start trying to log in to see about this defense platform. See if we can.
One of the MEF Marines is like, "Whoa, sir, what are you doing?"
Don't worry, he's got the marshal's approval. He's trying to get this elevator working.
Yes, I need to reroute power from to the elevator to make sure we all can get out of here.
I didn't receive any order about that. You have admin though. You can make an admin roll. Solomon can make rolls about stuff. He can, use his character sheet as a weapon.
Let's go.
I'm a marshal of the Karth constabulary, gendarmerie.
You want to make an admin check there, Sullivan?
Yeah, I'll make an admin check saying the marshal gave me permission to use anything I can to get the elevator working and to keep everyone here alive. So this is what must be done. And besides the pluses that I get from admin, I got a 10.
There you go. Okay, so you're able to basically BS your way about orders and stuff and get access to this computer. Accessing the computer and using it is no problem. Something that I thought was told before is confirmed. I'm going to clarify or reveal if this hasn't been before, but this is a matter of Larstown history that they actually had control of it at one point. So kind of a secret, okay? They had control of this thing and lost it. because there was only a single controller. And that single controller was on Lars.
Oh.
And Lars is in the sand squid.
No.
Alright.
Meanwhile, over on the wall, a couple of things happen. So, there's just like an eruption of firepower over in the eastern wall. This is just Niall and Gus. And they're bringing down bodies, and one of the Marines at some point quips, they're like, "This is easy money. So long as it's, just these stupid, people just marching mindlessly toward us, we're going to be all right." And then as soon as as soon as he says that, you hear a screeching sound in the night air. And then there's these shapes in the sky, and they start swarming the space elevator.
Game over, man. Game over.
Game over, man.
It's ass blasters, run.
We shot these before. We could shoot them again.
Don't shoot the elevator, please.
That man just put a down payment on a dark ship.
Yeah.
Indeed, what do? You've got these things, they're attaching themselves to the space elevator, they're ripping paneling off, they're ripping out lights and wiring and stuff and starting to tear it apart.
Are these Morlocks?
What's up?
Shoot them.
Yeah, like how many of them are there? Are there like more than a handful of people can deal with rifles?
There are probably 24 of them.
Okay.
If you shift firepower off of the wall, these bodies will advance on the wall. They are also running out of ammo. So here's the thing. If you shift fire and you bring it on these flying things, the bodies will get closer to the wall and you'll run out of ammo by the time you deal with both. At that point, you will go red. But you can do it. You think you can, if you just use raw firepower, you think you can do it, but you will go red at that point. That'll be the last of the any appreciable ammo, especially heavy weapon systems.
Ross, do we have a name for these Minok creatures?
And at this point, people nearby the command post, you see this happening, and you're in on this as well. And I don't think anyone ever mentioned the name. Sorry, what were we going to say, AJ?
I was gonna see if I could try to grab some sharpshooters, and because it doesn't take. I mean, the mindless bodies, they can keep laying down fire on them. It doesn't take anyone skilled with a rifle a weapon to do that. But if there's any like really like trained, we could try to grab some of them and like kind of, I don't know. Maybe we're failing at both tasks, but.
I don't think that changes the equation I described any. I think that's still one of those variables.
What do you think, Glenn?
If the mortars can have reloaded at this point and have any more ammo, Solomon can use his forward observer to try and lessen the amount of bodies going to the wall.
You could do that. You are outside. You could attempt a forward observer check. In the time it takes for them to get to the wall, you have one chance to do this. So you will have to succeed and actually hit your target for that to work.
Then we'll get the people at the wall to pull back and change focus on the flyers.
Because the flyers present more of a problem as far as us getting off. Like, we've got time, hopefully, that before the wall gives in and we get overrun. But if the elevator goes down again, then we're screwed. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
So you risk the wall and allocate more resources to the elevator, and then you're going to try to have Solomon try his forward observer skill to bring down a fire exactly where it's needed. Okay, roll.
Basically offset some of the firepower being deployed to the elevator to be able to, reduce the load on the wall.
Solomon, you have to roll a 7. by my math.
Oh,
Wait, no, what's your level of
Okay.
expertise in Forward Observer?
forward observer, it is. Well, it's 1.
Yep, you got to roll a 7.
All right. Let's see. Oh, exactly 7.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, you bring down this this mortar round exactly where it needs to go, and that is right in the heart, in the mass of these things, and right next to an ammo cache. It takes out a tremendous amount of pressure from one of the the primary fighting position, as some of the gunfire on the opposite side of the wall goes silent, and a bunch of the MEF Marines cheer. And they turn and they join Niall and Gus in picking off these things, and they pick it off the space elevator, saving some of the ammo, which you're going to need for what the planet has next.
I have a question.
No, not the same Kraken.
In anywhere of any of this fighting, has Niall come across any of those crazy rifles that the
There are a bunch of them laying on the ground, but you got to get outside the wall, so you got to risk getting out there and getting one.
Do it.
I really want one of those rifles.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a camel beetle real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, do you do it?
Yeah, he's going
Okay.
for a mad run.
What's your
I'll
dexterity?
try to give him cover fire as much as that means anything.
He's gonna lose his life. His dexterity is a 7.
Roll under your dexterity.
On.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You ride out there since the fighting position's kind of blown up, and that gives you a chance to scoop up 3 of these things. They're small bullpup design type. They're single frame with seemingly no moving parts. I'll describe it in detail later, but it is light, caseless, does 2D damage, and don't even worry about it running out of ammo. That's one of its most unique features. I'll give you the specifics later, but 2D damage.
Yeah, he's not gonna use them right now. He wants one. He has one. He's going back.
All right. Yeah. So you got.
Was
Sorry. Go ahead.
was that an MEF weapon or no?
It's
That
the
was
one
a-
like the Dawn Seekers forces
Oh,
have,
okay.
the crazy
Okay, my
sci-fi caseless
Yeah, my
one. Yeah.
bad.
Where are these
Crazy.
things? At this point, you hear a squealing in the night air as things erupt from the sand. Several things. Oh, this is weird. It didn't transfer it over. I will have to just use Theater of the Mind for that. They are those.
We just don't fight them, right? No more, right?
They're-
Right? That's it.
They're those tentacle things that come up out of the ground.
Is it the coral stuff that emits the noise and the smell?
Yes. And in addition, so does on the southeast wall, which is the least guarded, Mommy, as you hear like a whoa, like echo. And let me see if I can find a picture of this thing.
Yeah, what did Larstown do to Karth? Okay, we just need to get out of here.
Yeah, but I think we
This
really
thing.
need to kill that Kraken. Yeah, like
Yeah.
we know, like that is way more valuable now with the knowledge we have.
That's what has
That is-
the orbital controller in it.
Yeah.
It has Lars.
The tentacles. Actually, I have it right here. They from these other creatures, they start. Spikes start coming out of the tentacles and from their body and hitting some of the Marines, and they convulse as soon as they're hit by any of these, and they fall over. And then some of the tentacles are grabbing them and crushing them, and are like eating them and all kinds of stuff. And they're just firing into these tentacled things, and they are hard to bring down. And meanwhile, this gigantic one is moving toward the southeast wall, and because there's very little to stop it there. No explosives, no heavy weapon emplacements, only a couple of fighting positions. It simply just steps right over the wall and right into Larstown and starts like knocking over buildings and heading towards the bar.
God, everybody needs to go to the bar.
Well, they sent people to the bar. We haven't seen the consequence of that.
Yeah, we're not sure what's going on.
A few people are screaming for Lars, and they run out, and they're suicide bombers. And they start exploding and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
I direct them towards the Kraken.
What's the Kraken?
Shove them that way.
I was just gonna say, if we have explosives, then that's again the solution to this problem, and if we have people to deliver them.
I was gonna say, since it's in Larstown, can't we just direct fire the mortars?
So you do that sensibly, right? You start directing mortar fire, like explosions start, and weirdly the height of this thing seems utterly invulnerable to heavy explosives, heavy weapons, and it starts going toward the bar and ripping out walls and pulling people out and eating them and stuff.
All right, somebody's got to go blow it up from the inside.
All right, the mortar's been firing a lot. How hot are the tubes? And point of question, because can we just aim at it?
Aim at it with what?
With the mortars.
You do. You aim directly at it with the mortars, and the heavy explosives just seem to bounce off of it.
Oh, frig.
Okay, no,
Yeah,
I'm
like
saying.
get one in the mouth.
I tell those MEF guys who've got the suicide bombs, I say load up War Beetle Camel with them. Airlock, you're going right down this thing's throat.
No,
airlock.
Yes, we are going to feed it airlock loaded up with explosives. Airlock is going to blow it up from the inside.
Yes.
He does have that extra little kick.
Yeah, that little extra spiciness.
At this point, okay, so a couple of things happen. So you do that. You load up airlock. You pet airlock for the last time. You look him in the eye.
I cry a little bit.
You just load up a bunch of blue-skinned, shaky, crazy-ass addicts that are covered in explosives. This may be the worst thing you all have ever done, and that's topping it. That's saying a lot.
For Lars.
Desperate times.
They all say it though. They're like, for Lars, and airlock's like, and then farts, ruins the moment, and then charges toward the mouth of this thing, and it eats it. And
We did set the nightmares, right?
two things happen. First of all, it does violently explode. And so then chunks of this thing start flying everywhere, and down one alleyway is an old ruined skeleton. You can see. Also, the entrance to the space elevator shuts closed.
The Marshal.
Long-range communicator, detached from the elevator.
You hear gunfire.
Oh, I thought, didn't we have to do an EVA from the ship to the elevator?
You had to do an EVA from the elevator to a net, and to get to the elevator. But you have an umbilical that connects to a thing in orbit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just try to tell him to detach violently if needed, and
Right.
Repel boarders.
Yeah. You hear gunfire and
phasers to
fighting,
kill.
and yeah. Okay.
So the massive Kraken is dead.
The Kraken is dead. There's a skeleton preserved in the
We're gonna go to
streets.
Go to
Hey,
that
see if that's
skeleton, take our
Lars.
moment of silence,
See if
and
that's
then
Lars.
search the
Check and see
body.
if that skeleton is
Yeah.
Lars.
You find a controller on the skeleton. Meanwhile, the MEF is crumbling, the north wall is falling, and it's being overrun.
All right, we've got the controller.
Are
we're
Are
gonna
those
try to
MEF
deactivate-
soldiers still with us?
If you want them to be, they don't. Their commander has abandoned them. So I mean,
Well, if they are, I was about to shoot one of them
oh,
Why?
Wait,
well, yeah, why?
because they
walk
could
us
turn
through.
against us.
Oh,
Hold up. No,
Leave
no, no,
them
no.
alone. Ignore them.
First things
No,
first.
no.
No, I'm gonna pass the control over to Solomon. I'm gonna say turn off the orbital defense platform. Get on your long-range communicator and tell whoever is up on that ship, it's time to come down and end this battle.
Will do.
Exactly.
We don't need to turn on each other right now. We just got
Okay.
handed, hopefully, our victory.
okay.
Yeah, you tell him that.
Um,
I'll fumble with the controller. Learn its secrets.
now, everyone,
At least Bluey's still alive.
I'm not a narrativist, so I'm gonna roll some dice right now, and I'm gonna see what happens on a ship that's up in orbit.
Oh god.
So let's see. I don't have Trask's character sheet, sadly, but I'm gonna chuck some dice. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We have anti-boarding, anti-hijack software. Could that come in handy?
It sure would.
Because that's one part of our default loadout in the CPU. I made sure of it.
It is your default?
Yes. The default CPU software is jump to, navigation, maneuver, and anti-hijack.
Well, that was a damn good decision. Never mind, I don't need to roll dice. That's what that's for. So that
I'm
shuts
so glad I read this.
that shuts
I'm so glad I read the computer rules.
that shuts the doors. They are unable to board, and in short order, you make it back to the last fighting position. Okay, members of the city of Larstown that survive surround you, huddle down. Some of them hurt. Some of these tentacled monsters are still grabbing. They're coming around the corner. They're starting to run out of ammunition. You only have about 2 heavy weapons emplacements left that have been put here at the entrance. You cannot get into it from where you are, at least as it is. You need to hold off for 2 rounds. You hear Trask say, hang on, we're deorbiting now. And
Deorbiting. In other words, they're coming down the elevator.
they are entering the atmosphere, and yeah.
They're flying down.
Oh yeah, somebody needs to figure out that orbital laser.
Oh yeah. I guess since he handed it to Solomon will try and fiddle with it. What do you think? An engineering or a computer or
electronics. I'll let you pick. How about that? I'll let you pick.
I tell Solomon, our bare minimum, at nothing else, turn it off. But if you can find a way to direct it, to aim
yes,
it.
if I can figure out how to turn the autopilot, let's say, off and manually fire this thing, that would be good.
All right.
I guess it'd be electronics.
Yeah, you can pick the skill. I'll let you pick the skill, but you got to apply the skill however the book says, and then we'll see how it goes.
All right. Yeah, electronics makes sense here. So let's see. Got electronics 1. Okay, I got a 12 on my D6s.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
Okay. You call down right in the center of town, well enough away from all of the citizens that remain, right on top of Lars, and the town just shatters. The buildings crumble. The bank and the bar is destroyed, and the medical center, and no one's out there. So I know that I have a bunch of tokens, but everyone is where you all are at the entrance to the space elevator, and that. You just see a bunch of these tentacled things just ignite in flame, you know, as this like nuclear fire, this beam comes down from space, and there's a shock wave and a bright light, and you feel heat wash over you. You're probably heavily irradiated, and yeah, a mushroom cloud right in the center of town. and Larstown is mostly completely destroyed. And then that gives you some time. The gunfire kind of quiets down, and a ship. Let's see here. You also see like a series of other explosions on the ground, and arcing like fire coming in from the atmosphere, and then you see the exhaust of the Lucky Yo come around and circle and come in and land.
Yeehaw.
Oh,
Yeehaw.
Now
we gotta get the civilians on first.
you could do that. All right, so yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think we just load up and all man some guns, and we can just kill the rest of these aliens and zombies and whatnot. And everybody stay just hunkered down here. Well, I don't know. I mean, it might not be safe. Maybe they need to just get on board.
Well, Trask will tell you, he'll be like, this planet is swarming with stuff.
God.
But that being said, looks like we got the skies.
No point even trying to finish off any of these nasties. Let's just vamoose.
You can oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd like to try and hail Bleeze one more time to see maybe if she's still alive. Because I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
You probably have to use the long range communicator. Okay, so you get on like a high frequency channel, and you hear gunfire from off in the night, and she says, "I'm surrounded by these things. I don't know what to do," and you hear gunfire.
All right, we could have the Lucky Yo pick her up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, give us your coordinates and we'll head on over.
And we can provide some air support once we get close to.
Hunker down, danger close.
Let's see here. So you load everybody up on the Lucky Yo? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the pods and Dr. Fayed. Is Dr. Fayed alive?
He is.
Oh, thank
All
God.
right. We have him like help load the pods or supervise.
All right.
The pods went up on the elevator, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They did.
Yeah, the pods.
They're just kind of stuck at the top of the elevator, I think.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
You so you go out, and she is at a crash site of the ship.
Oh.
And you see someone in a power armored suit. I can't remember what the thing is called, but it's like a personal plasma weapon thing.
Like a battle dress.
Yeah.
And it's firing, and then she's firing weapons, from her hands and stuff, and these tentacle things. Some of them are about to just like get on her. What do you do? This is what you see as you approach. Who's flying?
Yeah,
I
who is
will.
flying? Okay.
I can fly.
So I got my little RC controller for the orbital space cannon, okay?
I've flown this thing many a time before, and I don't feel like joining any firefights since I still have a bullet in me.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright.
I can fly.
Okay.
Don't take this from me. I've been waiting to sit in this cockpit flying this thing for so long now. This is
All right,
my
go
boat.
ahead, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
kiss the dashboard as soon as I get on.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead and fly. Yeah, fly it.
Okay.
Fly
Okay.
this thing.
Okay. What do you
anyone
guys
have
do?
fire- Who has good gunnery? If not, then Niall's just gonna like shoot out of the door or something. If someone has higher
Alright.
gunnery than he does.
I think everybody's just got gunnery 1, right?
Yeah,
I got gunnery 2.
Oh, well, there you go. You're the
Oh, good, good.
you're the gunner.
You're
Yep.
the gunner. Congratulations.
Of course he does.
Oh, okay. I'll just pocket the controller then.
Here we go.
Yep. And then
You're our
Yeah.
weapon of mass destruction.
Okay, so if you want to use the pulse laser or the sandcaster to get these things and/or both. To get these things off of her, you're going to have to cut it real danger close. So you are going to have to pass a gunnery check.
Okay. Sandcaster, that blast sand at a rapid pace. That could give him a good grazing, but maybe lasers. Lasers might be more effective.
Okay.
All right. A 9.
Okay, that hits. You hit right in front of her. It looks just like the night air is lit up, and anyone looking outside, and you can just see like flashes of nuclear fire coming from the Lucky O, and it hits, maybe 100 meters out from away from her, and there's this explosion. These things fly everywhere, and it clears you a landing zone as well.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Just keep her on Overwatch, or I'll be on Overwatch as you guys load her up.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'm basically going to like
door
go
with
to
the
the
rifle.
airlock and just
Yeah.
provide gunnery support as
Yep.
we open up in case anybody wants to come in.
Indeed,
And I
yeah.
will be
Or let
on
her in and
to-
then shoot anything that's coming behind her.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll help with that.
You do
I
that.
will be using the intercom to the staterooms also to let all of our guests know about our policies we have on the ship while they're going to be staying with us. As they hopefully
Also,
can
your
appreciate,
marshal
we
betrayed
have a
you
race
and left you for
security
dead.
concern right now.
Yeah.
So
He's floating in space now, though, thanks to the anti-hijack software.
Speaking of that, so meanwhile, you guys make it back up to space in the Lucky O, and it has been a while since you've been in space, probably a month and a half, I don't know. It's been a long time.
Probably
Feels longer than that.
sweet
much
artificial
longer.
oxygen. Like,
Oh.
Oh, is that image not on here either? That's weird. So I had to,
Solomon is in
I changed to a new hosting software, and I had to do a file transfer thingamajig. So I'll just put you up in the Vinfall solar system for now, as a kind of.
well, we could spend a little time in orbit. I'm sure if Andrew were here,
Oh, no.
he'd want books to
Oh,
get play around with the orbital laser and carve, his name in the side of Karth.
We still have some stuff to talk about for sure. Okay, I'm just to put an image up here. So here you are, back in space in orbit. Let me give you your long-awaited starship noise, as you're back home now. You're real home. And you get in space, and a short-range communication comes through to you from the space elevator.
Yes.
What do? You just turn it off?
Positions on the Lucky Yo established as like defaults for people.
Not as of yet, I don't think.
Yeah, not yet.
Or at least,
All right.
Radaman's never going to sign one because he's.
Everybody list off your social score. We want our fanciest talker.
Yeah.
Oh wait, social standing or whatever.
Yeah, who the hell said 12? Who said that?
I've got
5.
5. I've got 5.
Hey.
I'm like a scumbag. I'm like the.
I
I'm
have
like a
8.
crack.
8 is pretty good.
8? Is that our highest?
I got 12 with Dr. Baron Admiral.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
he's-
He
Dr.
is a
Baron
baron.
Admiral.
He's a, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like a crackhead
Yeah.
who like. I'm like a crackhead at a
All right.
gas station.
Dr. Baron Admiral, get off that gunner station and get over to the communication station. He's gonna order you to be
Captain.
running back and forth around the ship.
Well, I want to toss it back over to Gus here. Gus, what's the overall plan? You're back in space. You got a bunch of people on board. You do not have the life support to keep these people alive for a space journey for a traveler week.
What is the nearest safe drop off for the bulk of the passengers?
Good question. We got the map up. Let's take a quick look. And you're getting a communications request from the space elevator. So that's kind of what's going on right now. The closest would be Glumcrag, which is 9 astronomical units away. 9 AU. Let me get to go back to our space simulator here now.
And we
I'm
are.
gonna say that takes more than a week to get there.
Yeah.
Like I was
We're
saying, we
in
might need
one
to
or
go
in
back
two.
down. We might need to go back down onto Karth and set up a camp somewhere on the planet side while we go out and do a supply
You
run,
really
maybe even to Mani.
Yeah.
Do you really want to go back to Karth, the planet full of zombies, krakens,
I mean, we
and
can.
death cultists?
Do we want to go back? Maybe we want to go back to the Silver Spire and
Like I said,
Yeah,
I'm
but we
sure
don't
it's
know
a whole
the story
planet.
on this,
or
right?
Well,
moon.
let's
there's-
accept that communication first.
Yeah,
There
so
might
let's see
be-
what
there
I,
might
I
be-
mean, if you're on comms, you can take it. I'm
not.
well.
All right, boop. I answer. Hello, this is Admiral Stans.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll do this one, and then we'll talk about our options here. Predictably, a face shows up on your screen and says, what happened there, travelers? Lost contact with you. Looks like you made it on your ship. How the hell did you make it down there?
Well, it seems like we did lose communication there for a while as you left us to die, and the rest of your men and civilians here as well.
That's all. I think this is just some misunderstanding, but you've done a great job and a good service to Manny. I bet there's quite a lot of money in it for you. Why don't you go ahead and dock with the space elevator and give us our citizens back, and we'll set up a contract.
I'll look over at the captain as I just flash the orbital cannon controller at the screen and say, well, we might have a plan B here for such a scumbag like you as well.
Where in Todd's name did you get that?
Oh, well, by the glory of Lars, it just fell into my lap.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just cut to the point. I know who you are. It's going to take a long time for this signal to get somewhere, but it will. And they'll know who was here on this planet. Second of all, I got a load of cryopods. Every single cryopod is stuffed with anagathic. Now, if you know what that is, you know what it is. Solomon knows what it is. That's the drug they're making here. That's the most expensive drug in the universe that extends your life unnaturally.
I say we trade him the. I say we trade him the key for the cryopods full of anagathic.
Kind of don't trust him with the key.
He'll just use it on us as soon as
I
we
don't
drive
trust
that
it.
away.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, if opportunity presents itself, I would like to kill this man.
Yeah, true.
I was gonna say.
Well,
can-
his signal may get out, but we'll be long gone by the time it does, and
Yeah,
we
true.
can get to his superiors before that signal.
True. Yeah.
Well, here's a question. Can we pinpoint his location on the the space elevator?
Yeah.
Is he in space?
Yeah, he's on the space elevator. There's like a high port at the top of the space elevator. It's like an alien ancient high port.
I got a plan, guys. What if you know what? And I'll meet the comms. We detach the high port from the elevator by surgical nuclear precision, and we just load up the pods.
We don't have anything that could do that, do we?
You have a
I
giant
leave the
space
orbital
laser.
pad.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, true.
I have.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Ross. when we evacuated the remaining people of Larstown onto our ship, I assume that included quite a few MEF soldiers, right?
Yeah, you've got the remaining forces, which are probably 25% that survived.
Do they feel any remaining loyalty for their commanding officer who abandoned them in battle?
No.
And I was gonna
Good.
say, why don't we turn on the radio, not only broadcast the transmission inside of the ship so all the passengers can hear, but also transmit it farther, and we can have this guy talk into his own grave.
You can even, if that's a good idea, you can have that happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
System-wide.
Let everybody hear his true colors.
Yeah.
And we got MEF guys who can back up our side of the story. I'm sure we can show our anti-hijack software got activated in the middle of all that, you know.
Just the poor guys just
Niall will move out and
doorway.
start getting all the MEF guys and moving them closer to the door.
Yeah, so everybody can hear this, and it's broadcasting openly, you know, so on a slow, long carrier wave, just ambling out in space, and someday it'll get somewhere. But anyways, he goes on for a while about, you know, setting up a contract or a deal, and it's true, that's a lot of money. That's basically the entire reserve of Anagathic that was processed. His plan was never to put people in sleep, but rather to get the drugs and get that off planet. Yeah, so he goes on for a while. What do you all plan to do? Let me circle back. A couple of things that'll be obvious to you. This planet is immensely hostile. In the Imperium, this would be a red zone. Yeah, they would not let somebody come in here. There is, you have to think something could get up that space elevator. If any ships come or go, something could get on that ship. And these are some things that you don't know. You all even may be contaminated. You have no idea yet what, you know, how this thing works. But it's obviously capable biologically. Anywho, so the planet is really dangerous. How far away is the nearest planet? Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but being 9 astronomical units away is like, I wish I had done the math here. I've got an astronomical unit is 500 light seconds to go, but for some reason I didn't list a light second, so that's kind of useless. I don't know where I got that, but anyways, it's going to take you at 1G. It's probably going to take you the better part of a week to make it to Glumcrag, probably 5 days or something. You do not have the life support to make it to Glumcrag.
If we had those pods and we changed its contents with actual people, would we have enough?
Yes. I can't remember. I think that it's just automatically there's a chance of death. It's something like a 1 in 6 chance of death for anybody that, you know. It may be that if you have a certain medical skill, that's completely negated, and that seems really important. So I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
If somebody can help me out with that, I'd appreciate it.
I mean, that's just like the first part question. So, these people already obviously know what's in those pods. They know how much it's worth. We need them to behave. So why don't we, as part of our getting these people away, we promise to give them a portion, a small amount, like handful, whatever, of this really expensive drug, so that they are able to move and start a new life or have a very
sort of their 40 acres and a
exciting
mule.
and kind of, in order to like keep them peaceful, and anyone who opts for low birth gets a small amount more.
Because we have low birth, and then if we get those cryopods, that's even more.
Yeah.
Ross, I think I found the relevant passage.
Yeah, it's throw 5+ for each passenger.
Yeah.
You can't get a 6.
An expertise in medical 2 or better allows a DM of +1 when reviving low passengers.
Exactly. So
What is our Dr. Admiral Captain's medical?
Yeah.
Medical. It's like 5. Let me see.
Holy
It's
smokes.
4. It's 4.
I mean, that would be a +4, and you would have to roll a 5+. Therefore, I think that means you would automatically succeed, right?
It just says you get a +1. I'm a little confused because a 5+ roll would indicate that you have to roll a 5 or better to survive. So that'd be a 4, 5, or 6, which is a 50% chance, which seems terrible.
That does seem extremely
Not
low.
2d6, and you got to throw a 5 or better.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2d6.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
2d6, 5 or better,
Okay.
and it becomes a 4 or better essentially with Dr. Admiral Baron Engineer, Chief Engineer.
Okay.
Well, how about this proposition? How about we, if we could, make a boarding action with the high port, and basically let Believe go get payback on the guy who put the bounty on her.
True.
We could.
Oh, and
we
she could
just
have the
make
MEF
sure
backing her up.
Climb up
Yeah,
this space.
exactly.
How many people came up with him? Was it?
You don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
But nonetheless,
I would
she
say-
agrees. She says, yeah, I'll do that. Send me over and I'll kill all of them.
Glenn, what did you say?
We don't know how the rest of these things work. They could be climbing this space elevator as we speak. From the inside or something. Why don't we just
Yeah.
sever from the planet and then send them over as a boarding action to the high port? Because I don't have to hit the high port. I just
Yeah, and let's piece let's piece all this together so we have kind of like a and then you guys tell me if this all is coming together. First of all, you've got a giant space laser. Yes, you can sever the space elevator structure. The orbit will decay rapidly, so the high port will fall into the planet. You have time to do a boarding action. Blaze is eager to kill every one of them. I will roll to see if there's a small chance that someone could actually crack power armor. Mathematically, I think that seems really unlikely. I'll take a look. And yeah, so so you can do all of those things.
Well, it would be
And
her
then-
plus whatever MEF guys on our ship want some merch as well.
Yeah, you could even use that as a second wave. Oh, well, the
Yeah.
giant power armor didn't work. Let's everybody go in there and
Well,
kill
I mean,
those.
going with her
Yeah.
to support her to make it a guaranteed thing.
Yeah.
Although, let her do the first round.
Okay.
She's going to be raging blind fury, and she won't be able to distinguish targets. They're all going to be an MEF armor.
By the way, real
True.
quick, before I forget, Reflect, unlike other forms of armor, Reflect is worn under other clothing.
Okay.
Nice.
So you can, at 1,500 credits, if you find it, you can add that as additional armor. Anyways, let me look at the chart here.
I do have a long-term idea that I'll go over while you're looking that up. Is if there's a way to write a program on that control to have it just kind of lower the elevation that it was currently set to, and have it set to repeatedly lower that elevation over time.
So, it
Blast
just slowly annihilates everything until it reaches the surface.
Pretty much.
until it hits the lowest point, and then let it keep firing until it burns out.
That, if that's possible, we could just glass the whole planet, possibly.
We don't need to do that. We could leave it like it is. We can, I don't know.
Well, if we leave it like it is, someone else could come.
We're going to let Monty
Yeah,
know
and then
about the situation. We'll be like, hey, we got a Jurassic Park planet over there that got out of control,
Yeah, it
Really needs
happens.
to be quarantined.
Minus the
That's-
dinosaurs, though.
That's
We don't offer to
That's
do that
obvious.
unless someone's willing to pay us a lot to fully, exterminate all life on the planet.
right. That's a them problem, not an us problem.
But it could be
That
for the
is
right
true.
price.
Okay. She does get hurt.
We're talking about all this while Bleeze is tearing these guys limbs from him.
This is the montage part. This little flashback. There's rock music playing. Flashback, no music, casual conversation. Flashback, rock music.
As we enjoy our artificial gravity and oxygen, like, yes.
Bleeze is severely injured and unconscious. Everyone else, she does murder everyone, but they eventually, in the last firefight, when they get to Marshall Clark, he cracks her armor and wounds her, and she's unconscious. They kill Marshall Clark. You have 5 of these cryopods full of anagathic. I will look that up, but it's worth a lot of money. This is the processed stuff. So let me... Actually, I will look it up right now. Drugs.
Niall will go over and try to, like, retrieve her if anyone else wants to help.
Yeah.
You
Get her to the doctor.
you retrieve everyone. Okay, so you get everybody back, all the MEF troopers. You get Bleeze back. Now, here's the thing. She is unconscious... And at your whim, you can take the power armor right off of her. You can throw her in space. You can do whatever you want. And you also have all of the stuff that's there. You know.
I'd like to honor the deal with her because you know she did have the trade contacts, and that's we could take her power armor and just space her, but I'd rather be able to have.
And she'll know we could have.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm also scared of her.
Same.
Just in case we don't kill her.
She's like the Bobby Draper of Traveler.
Okay, so you find 1 million credits worth of anagathic if it were sold at value on the market.
The anagathic doesn't actually need to be in the cryopods, right? That was just a smuggling tactic.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, cool. So we're going to put that on our cargo bay, and then we're going to load up. We're going to offer that deal to all of our passengers, explaining, like, if you're willing to take on the risk of going into these cryopods, you stand to get a little bit more pay.
They do the ancient custom of the lottery, and they conduct a lottery, but on the front end. And so there are some people that can live here on the space station, probably about 12 people. The rest are stuffed in there. The remainder ask to go in your pods. You have a certain number, right? Of,
Yeah.
what do you have?
We have 10 staterooms and 20 low berths.
So you can take on as many people as you're willing, essentially.
I'd argue as many as possible. It's higher risk of death, but also it's more manageable for us as far as manpower.
Same. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
Is
Basically,
there?
we want to, keep as many people as we can provide life support to, and get to the next system.
Is there?
Whoever,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying, like, and then obviously max out the low berth, to the extent that we have to, and they're willing.
Is there anyone in particular you want to go with you?
With us, what do you mean?
Are those 2 dudes who we bribed, the 2 officers that we bribed way back when, are they here? Are they alive?
I assume that those 4 crew members, Trask, the 2 MEF troopers, and the smuggler are kind of like crew members. You'd agreed to that, I think.
Okay.
So.
I have a question.
Just
the young lady who ran that karaoke bar, Radamant's flirt, his old flame.
Yeah.
Is she around?
Yeah,
She's
absolutely.
Dead, hopefully. Damn.
Yeah, that you can't kill that woman. Are you kidding?
Right.
She's in her prime.
She's in her prime. She's only.
So I
she's
mean,
only
I defer to
26.
Radamant on that.
Oh nah, Radamant's moved on from that. He's tasted the He's not ready to taste the forbidden fruit.
Okay, so I don't hear any ideas. So you stuff 20 people, and here you go. So you make it into space. Now we have a little bit of time left. We are going to follow the procedures of the game. You came into space, so let's see.
Been a long time.
It's been a long time.
I got a 5. Should have not used...
I do have a question. If we destroy the space elevator, will the high port fall? Will it fall out of orbit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we don't want to shoot that if we were leaving people on the high port.
Good
That's
point. Good point.
Did we have to leave people?
You do. Yeah, you cannot carry everybody in 20 low berths, plus all of your staterooms.
Plus the cryopods that we've emptied of their drugs.
Right. Okay, that's true. And okay, that's good. So that's 26. There would still be... How many staterooms do you have?
10 staterooms, 20 low berths, and you said 26 cryopods?
Oh, dang. Actually, you could just carry everybody.
Hell yeah.
So
Then we can
Oh,
blast
so we
the
could just
space
kill
elevator.
everybody.
this is, I think, I off the top of my head, this might be a Mongoose 2nd edition thing, but I think you can double the cost of your life supports and double bunk and hot bunk if you choose, if I recall correctly.
If ever there was a time to do it, to stretch this thing to its
Right.
limits.
Okay.
True.
Are we not promising a comfy ride for these folks?
All right. You do that if you want. Is that, what do you think, Gus?
As far as doing double berths in the staterooms,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a week or however long it takes to get to the next place where we can unload people, I mean, I can put up with that myself for a week or so.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
same.
you
We can drop them off.
you shatter the space elevator. It crashes into the atmosphere, and any chance that you know of something on that planet getting off right now seems to have ended for now. And you set the control stuff. Now this control has to stay nearby. If as soon as you lose the control, it's going to go on its own programming. Actually, you're pretty smart. Let's say that you can program it, but it's not going to do anything obviously when you leave. But you program it to just incrementally just keep shaving and firing until it runs out of power, which at some point it's going to do much more quickly under that programming, and basically hold everything on that planet and keep anything from coming off of it is the idea. And everybody gets settled into low berth and into their staterooms, and they draw lots for that. And you get
one.
Well, hold on.
More related question. Okay.
Well, is it about Karth? Is there something on Karth?
It is about Karth.
Okay, go ahead.
And about the laser.
Yeah.
Could we theoretically write a message on the planet?
I'll get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Do not land.
so you guys get all your vac suits on. You sit down in your crew stations. You lock in, and it just feels like you belong there, sitting there in your crew station again. You get everything ready, and Bleeze, when she's conscious again, you manage to get some coordinates. I suppose one question is, do you go to the nearest planet and do a jump one there, or do you do a jump 2 and go to a different star system entirely?
After we drop off all of these civilians and MEF guys?
Well, you're going to be a week in traveler space no matter what you do. So, do you want to go to another solar system, or do you want to go to Glumcrag?
What do we know about Glumcrag?
And actually, it's a jump, so you can go jump anywhere in Vinfall. You could jump into Free City, a Metropolis. Let's bring it up. Let's do that. That's worth talking about, just in case we get to play again sometime. Let's go to the Vinfall system. That's the solar system you're currently in. You are at a far edge, the Tiburnus gas giant, way off in the edge. There are a bunch of dust balls. Glumcrag is a dust ball. You can think Tatooine or Karth. Vinfall T41 A1 Helios Station is a Federation naval base. There's somebody who maybe doesn't want to go there. There's Dry Gulch, which is another Tatooine type place. Redemption is another dust ball. And then Free City.
Space Bangkok?
Free City is Space Bangkok. It's Nar Shaddaa. And Free City has the kind of free trader hub that orbits it, Heaven's Edge. Heaven's Edge is like the mega kind of space station for free trading. And then Vespidia Station is another naval station. And that is around another gas giant called Teunkum.
And the alternative is going to a different star system.
And alternatively, you have the coordinates for through your through Bleeze. For one of these, Bleeze can get you to from Vinfall to Bountiful, which has a Class A starport.
Promising name.
It's a promising name, which makes me highly suspicious of it.
Is it an ironic name? Yeah.
Captain, I say we go to Free City.
I was gonna say either Free City or the starport or the high port above it, one or the other.
We can sell these drugs.
I vote for Free City.
Okay.
It seems much calmer in Free City.
I think the people that want to start fresh, that would probably give them a decent starting point. So yeah, let's go to Free City.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here you are. You gain several worlds distance from Tabernus. And after you do that, you ignite the old jump drive for the first time in a long time. Let's see here. It goes this one. And you spend a week in an alternate miniature universe in the jump with all your new passengers. And that's where we'll end the adventure.